So that's a weird way to start a video, but yeah. Um for this video I'm gonna have one part that's spoiler free so that anyone can watch it, and then after that just gonna have a part that's basically full of spoilers, just talking about my favorite parts, my favorite arc, why it's my favorite arc, and that kind of thing. So yeah, just to let you know, I'll obviously say, oh yeah, this is when there's spoilers when I do get to them. But besides that, I'm gonna just start. So the first thing I want to talk about is the cast. Kingdom's cast has to be one of, if not my favorite cast, probably not one of my favorite casts of all time, because most of the characters feel like they have a purpose and they all really have their moments. I think every character's role has either been that's been completed is done well, and those that let's say are for the future, like the two great generals, the two people in Chu who are like rising, the generals, I don't remember. They're I think they have a lot of potential to be really good. I mean, just all of the characters are really good. Oki's really good. All the antagonists are good. I'd say all the generals are good. They all do what they're supposed to do and present a different style of warfare with their own soldiers and stuff. Like Kanki has his guerrilla style kind of, and that of the lake. And yeah, my favorite character would probably be Oki or Dukyo. I feel like the generals are most of the time better than the other characters, probably because they have bigger moments. Um, the High Shin unit is definitely one of my favorite groups in anime. I'd say top two, only behind the Straw Hats. And I don't think Straw Hats are ever gonna get topped. But I definitely think the High Shin unit is one of the best groups, and not because of because each individual character is good, but just how they feel like a group and their loyalty they have for each other. Pretty similar in that respect to the Straw Hats. I think the Straw Hats is done better because they have better individual characters and still have that sense. But we'll have to see because they don't really have that many standout characters in the High Shin unit, which I'd say is their biggest problem. They only have Kyokai and Shin. But that'll probably change in the future. They'll probably have other characters. I do think that some of the characters in the High Shin unit, like, they're well respected, but then I don't really feel like we have that many achievements they got. Like Sosui, supposed to be a lieutenant, but I haven't seen him do much. My first time doing this, I was gonna say Heki, but after like catching up, he had one moment, so he has some respect now. But besides that, he didn't have any. He did nothing. It was like a Sakura of Kingdom, except better. And even the weak characters in the High Shin unit still feel important. Like, you wouldn't want them to die. And you wouldn't want any character that's on your side to die. And the characters that are meant to be hated, like Mangoku, they serve their own. Like, they're not hated because they're bad. They're hated because they're meant to be hated. Similar to what One Piece does with some of them. And I think that's it for cast. I'd say it's probably my second favorite cast of all time, bordering for first. But I don't want to take that away from One Piece until I reread it. Definitely some great side characters. Shin, I don't know where I'd say probably like top 15 main character. I don't know. I have to think about it more. And the next thing I want to talk about is the fights. I think Kingdom fights, I'd say they're the best fights in anime and manga. They're filled with hype, really good art, really good paneling, great build up, great characters. The results are almost always really good. They always have a bigger purpose to the instead of just being a cool fight. My favorite fight is Oki versus Dukyo. I won't mention it much because of spoilers, but that is my favorite fight. they're almost like every fight is very hype. Especially when it's like a general versus a general, or if it's just a fight with Shin in it, because I mean he gets promoted and stuff. Not really. I mean, I've said all I can say. They have really good art, paneling, hype, and all that. I really not much I can say about it without spoilers. If I'm gonna be honest. Um, the art in Kingdom. I mean, I think everyone's seen Kingdom panels before. It has top tier art, top 5 at least. I really like the art style. The art style was one of the reasons I wanted to start it. Some people don't like the character designs. I didn't like them either, but after a while, I got used to it and started liking the designs. I think it's just a case of similar like the One Piece character designs. A lot of people who see One Piece don't complain about the character designs, but the people who haven't watched them do. I realize I'm making a lot of One Piece comparisons. It's just the first thing off the top of my head. But art's great. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the main reasons I wanted to start besides the strategies and stuff. Next thing I want to say is the story. The story isn't the best story I've seen. It's still really good. But it's not like out of this world best story to ever exist kind of thing. I give it a solid 8 for the story. But like it doesn't I don't feel like it has any big flaws. Even at like I think the pacing in this manga is phenomenal. What other mangas will do in like 250 chapters, Kingdom can do in like 25. And not in like a bad way where it's like too much is happening at once. It feels everything flows really well. There's a few times where like for some other mangas you can skip a chapter and it's not like you'll lose much because we'll still be talking about the same thing. There's a few times in Kingdom where you skip a page or two and something major happens. Like you skip a whole chapter. It's like you missed 20 chapters at once. Just every chapter is just action packed, either with actual action or with just really good information and things of the like. So I don't really complain. I wouldn't really complain about the pacing or the story or anything about that. That's something I really like about the manga. And even Kingdom pacing at its worst is better than a lot of mangas pacing at its best. So, I mean, yeah. The world building in Kingdom, I think Kingdom's world building is good. Really good, especially considering, for some other manga, like samurai manga, for example, considering how, like, fleshed out the other samurai anime have been, like, how much samurai anime are out there, you wouldn't really need to explain much, because mostly everyone knows the general stuff for samurai anime that you need to know. But I feel like for Kingdom, since it's in ancient China, I really don't know any other mangas that are in ancient China, except for Ravages of Time. And Ravages of Time is like 500 years or 400 years into the future, I guess, for Kingdom. So it's not even the same time period, basically. But yeah, since it doesn't have that much, I feel like what it does for world building is great. I feel like the difference between all the states, how different they are. It's very meticulously done, but yeah, it's still subtle. It's not as good as One Piece world building, or from what I've seen, Made in Abyss world building. It's still pretty good world building though, considering not a lot of people know. I didn't even know much about the ancient China and stuff until I read Kingdom. Next thing I wanted to say was how unique it was. Kingdom is a very unique manga. I think it's just one of those manga. It's not like as unique as others, but it's still very unique. I don't think I've read a manga similar to Kingdom. It feels like a shonen. It has like it has the feeling of a shonen, but it has like I want to say the liberty of a sign. Like they can they can have certain scenes, I'll say, that you wouldn't be able to have in a shonen for demographical reasons. Not many series have pull off the strategies department or like the smart character as well as Kingdom does. Kingdom has some of the more realistic, smart characters I've seen, period. Like for example, Riboku. I'm gonna try not to spoil, but he'll have a plan. Then when he messes it up, it's not like it's some dumb thing that he messed up. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like very realistic when it comes to its smart characters. Very realistic in general. The most non-realistic thing is some of the action and some of the glaive physics. Those glaives would be spinning and making turns. But I think Kingdom is a very unique experience. I don't think you'll find another manga similar to it. I haven't read Ravages of Time, but from what I've heard, it's probably the closest thing you can find to Kingdom. And some people have said it's better than Kingdom, but I doubt it. And, yeah, I'd say for Kingdom, for me, I want to say it's my second favorite series, anime and manga of all time. It could be favorite, but I still need to reread one or two other series before I want to make that claim. Yeah, that's it for the non-spoiler stuff. The rest of this is gonna be just me talking about like my favorite scenes, favorite arc, that kind of thing, but it's gonna have a lot of spoilers and also me justifying some of the other things. So if you haven't seen Kingdom, I would recommend just stop watching the video here. If you have seen it or you just don't care about spoilers, then you can just keep going. And yeah. Alright, so for the spoiler thing, the first one I want to talk about is Oki and Hosen. I just messed up the name. Oki and Hoken. I'm gonna mess up the name so much, so beware. Definitely my favorite fight. Oki's death. Okay, let me go with this. Oki and Hoken's fight definitely was my favorite because it was built up that much. We saw their past, how Hoken was affected by it, how Oki was affected by it, how he was mad about, how he was furious about Hoken because of what he did. And I thought Oki's death at the end was great. I think the fact that Hoken had to get help from that one archer dude at the end helped set up things for the future in like the Chow Invasion arc. It helped him give a reason to want to keep fighting and want to fight Shin. That's my favorite fight. Dukyo. I think Kingdom deaths are my favorite. I know my favorite, but they're some of the better deaths I've seen. Oki's death is probably one of my favorite, or if not my favorite, death in fiction. Dukyo's death is really good, especially his last line. That was phenomenal. Coalition arc is just my favorite arc of all time. It used to be Falcon of the Millennium Empire, but then I read Coalition. That was just too good, bro. Coalition was just my favorite arc. Is my favorite arc. And I don't think something can top Coalition. I'd have to see though. There's some other anime manga arcs I need to read. Highly doubt something's ever gonna top Coalition though. I think Battle of Bio is my second favorite arc, mainly because of Riboku's introduction, Hoken's introduction, Oki and Hoken's death, Oki's death, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm just jumping around from different stuff to different stuff, so I'm just gonna sound super confusing. Sei's speech was really good. It was just one of the better things in the series. Really hype. It helped show why he was such a great king. because not a lot of other kings would do that, as we see with Chao's king. Bro just would rather have his country die than have the soldiers go out. I don't know why I liked Battle of Bio more than Western Chao. Western Chao was great, but I don't know if I got burnt out halfway through or I just preferred what happened in Battle of Bio. I mean, almost every Kingdom arc is really good, so I really can't complain. The current arc is... I'm enjoying the current arc more than I enjoyed Western Chao. I don't know. I feel like this current arc has a lot of potential to be really good, depending on how it's done. Once again, I'm about to hop out of nowhere. Shin's first campaign was probably the most hyped campaign aside from Coalition. See, the thing about Kingdom campaigns or Kingdom arcs in general is that they almost all of them have are the best at their own separate thing. Like as I was saying, KO campaign, Shin's first campaign, I'd say is the most hype one out of all of them, except for Coalition. Coalition is the best one in every aspect, or almost every aspect. Battle of Bio, I think, was the best one emotionally. It had the most emotion, both in sad and just inspirational, and kind of thing. It was the one that would get you the most emotionally invested. Aside from Coalition for all of these. I think Sanyo campaign gave you a good look on what a great general is, similar to what Battle of Bio did. Sanyo also, I think, let us see what they kept talking about when they meant the weight of a general, which we're still learning. It was good to see Rinko and State of I definitely was easily the best Kingdom arc when it comes to the dialogue. Sounds weird, I know, but State of I dialogue was really interesting to read, especially with Sei and Ryofui's debate at the end of it. I've never been more invested in a debate than when I was with this arc, man. This arc had me more interested in that debate than anything else I've ever seen. Ryofui was a great antagonist. I think Ryofui and Riboku were really good antagonists. I don't think either of them is top 10 for me, but they're both still top 15, top 20. Really solid. I don't know how I feel about Ryofui's death there. Actually, no, he didn't die. He got confirmed that he didn't die. He faked it. It'd be interesting to see if he pops up again later. Riboku's I don't even know what they're gonna do with Riboku, not gonna lie, man. I don't know. Maybe a Seikyo Rebellion, but for Riboku. That'd be pretty cool. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that's it. There's really nothing else I have to say. Oki and Hoken is top 10, is probably I really can't think of a lot of fights that are really good. So I'm going to say it's my favorite, although I'm probably going to, right as I finish, I'm going to remember another one that I like more when it comes to fights. Oki's death, I think, is my favorite death, period. Dukyo's death is also really good, but not as good as Oki's death, in my opinion. Especially narratively and emotionally. Oki was my favorite character, man. So that was tough. Only thing I never understood in Kingdom was the glaive physics. There's whole steel metal glaives that won't break for anything, but they bend making rubber look bad. But yeah, that's really all I got to say for Kingdom. Yeah, top 2, top 1 series. think anything can top it, but I said that for a lot of other series and it gets topped. Vagabond might top it. Moggy might top it. GTO maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's the video. That spoiler part. I know I just jumped around from idea to idea, but I got nothing to say. I mean, I really just wrote notes for the non-spoiler part, not thinking about the spoiler part. So that's just my fault. And if you liked it, leave a like. Tell me what you thought down in the comments. Yeah, I got nothing. Have a good day.